Student life and education is a very common topic in all sections of the IELTS test. So I'm going to show you 8 essential pieces of vocabulary and language that you really should understand in preparation for your IELTS test. Here is your vocabulary list. Higher education, graduate, schedule, degree, curriculum, qualification, assessment, and finally, challenge. Let's move on to our first piece of language, which is higher education. Higher education is a phrase that is applied to any kind of education, usually from college up. So that could be college, university, or anything after that. Higher education is considered educational institutions that you must enroll to. You do not have to do them. For example, at the age of 16 in England, you finish your normal school life. After that, we have higher education, which you can choose to do. Sally studied in higher education for 3 years, gaining a degree in human psychology. Enrollment into higher education doubled over a 4-year period. So there we have higher education. Next up we have graduate. So graduate in this sense means when you finish and complete some studies. For example, you can graduate from university once you have finished. Once I graduate from university, I will return home to start work and live with my family. Nowadays, students are finding it difficult to work after they graduate from university. And here we have schedule. Schedule is very similar to timetable, a list of things that someone must either go to or complete. I must admit, my schedule at university is really jam-packed. Here's a lovely expression, jam-packed. When something is really busy, you can say that it is jam-packed. For example, the bus was jam-packed. Okay, next example. The university lecturer had warned students that they needed to manage their own schedules. And here we have degree. A degree is a qualification that you get after you have studied in school or college. You need to get a degree from a university. The biggest reason students enrolled to university was to study for a degree. Right now, I am an undergraduate student, but next year I will study for my degree. And here we have this phrase, undergraduate student. An undergraduate student is someone who is not yet going to university. So it may be that they are applying and waiting to hear from the university. Now we'll move on to curriculum. A curriculum is a list of activities and learning that a student will work through to achieve a qualification. I feel it's very important for students to look over the curriculum and understand their course. Many students felt the curriculum wasn't busy enough to deliver on their expectations. And here we have qualification. A qualification is a chunk of learning or a certificate that you have to study towards. A qualification has an end goal that you can work towards, such as a degree, a PhD, or a master's. I attended college and earned my qualification in history and art. Now, I've highlighted the verb attended because that's how we talk about college and university in the past tense. I attended college. I attended university. Employers these days want employees to have up-to-date qualifications. And now we have assessment. An assessment is very, very similar to a test or an exam. And you are given or you are assessed or given an assessment to work out at what stage in your learning you are at. Self-assessment is very important in understanding how you can improve further. Here we have the phrase self-assessment. Self-assessment is something that I recommend you should do for your IELTS as well. It's where you consider what your weak points are and think about what you need to study to improve. Self-assessment. When I was younger, I was always worried about tests and assessments. So there we have assessment. And finally, we'll move on to challenge. Challenge is something that is not very easy, much like student life or education. I can't wait to challenge myself and begin my studies. During high school, I found studies a challenge, but managed to pass all my exams. Challenge, something that is not easily achieved. And here is your complete list of 8 essential pieces of language for student life.